everyone! Today we talk about a new trend that sounds like it was invented by a focus group of very tired comedians. It's a phenomenon blowing up on TikTok, spearheaded by the generation that can't remember a time before the internet, and it's called raw dogging boredom. Yes, you heard that right. The kids are now raw dogging boredom. And what is this revolutionary, life-altering practice? It's the simple act of putting down your phone, turning off the TV, taking out your earbuds. I saw a piece in Business Insider about this where they talked to kids who are literally just setting a timer and staring at a wall. One creator, a user named @Skiznol, got millions of views on a video where she just sat in her room. No music, no podcast, just being. And for a period of, say, 15 minutes to a whole hour, you just do nothing. You sit there. You exist. You let your brain be unstimulated. I know. It's like they've discovered staring out a window. For those of us who grew up waiting for dial-up internet to connect or spent entire afternoons waiting for our parents to finish shopping at Sears, this just sounds like a Tuesday. But here's the central conflict, the real tension. In a world designed to eliminate every second of empty space, a world where the average American spends over 7 hours a day looking at a screen, according to recent data, intentionally choosing that emptiness has become a radical act of rebellion. Dr. Doreen Dodgen-McGee, a psychologist who was quoted in a piece by NBC News on this very topic, calls it an act of resistance against what she calls the tyranny of the urgent. It's a declaration of war against the algorithm. Frankly, calling it raw dogging boredom is the most unnecessarily aggressive name for something since America called its top secret military space plane the X-37B orbital test vehicle. It's doing nothing. It's what we used to call waiting for your mom to finish trying on pantsuits at a Sears that smelled vaguely of disappointment and unsold Kenmore appliances. It's not an extreme sport. It's just Tuesday afternoon in 1996. But what if I told you this isn't a rebellion? What if it's not new at all? Here's the bold claim, the conspiracy, if you will. What if these kids have accidentally stumbled upon one of the oldest and most powerful mental technologies ever created, but they just gave it a ridiculous name? This isn't just a TikTok trend, it's a symptom of a deep-seated craving for silence in a world that never shuts up. It reminds me of what Tristan Harris, the former Google design ethicist you might know from the documentary The Social Dilemma, has been saying for years. He talks about how our attention has been hijacked and monetized, so when these kids decide to take their attention back, even for 15 minutes, they're not just having a fad. They're unknowingly participating in a global pushback against the attention economy. They think they're just detoxing from social media, but what they're really doing is the absolute beginner's level, the kindergarten class for a practice that has been refined over thousands of years, particularly in Japan. They're taking the first step on a path towards Zen. It's like finding a perfectly preserved 1969 Ford Mustang in a barn and using it to store your garden gnomes. Sure, it's technically a use for it, but you're kind of missing the thundering V8 of spiritual enlightenment that's sitting right under the hood. What they're doing is a very, very basic form of meditation. Specifically, it mirrors the fundamental idea behind Zazen, which is the cornerstone of Japanese Zen Buddhism. It means seated meditation. And the history of this is incredible. We're not talking about a life hack from a tech CEO. We're talking about a practice with roots going back over 2,500 years to India with the Buddha. This knowledge traveled along the Silk Road through China, and when it reached Japan around the 12th century, it was honed into a razor-sharp tool for understanding the mind. We're talking about monks in remote mountain monasteries spending not 15 minutes, but hours, days, years just sitting, just observing their own consciousness. A legendary monk named Bodhidharma is said to have brought Zen to China, and the story goes he sat facing a wall for 9 years straight. There's this incredible, probably legendary detail where it said that after so long in stillness, his legs atrophied and fell off. Now that, my friends, is raw dogging boredom at a world championship level. 9 years! His legs atrophied and fell off, which I have to say is the most extreme physical reaction to boredom I've heard since that guy in 2020 tried to bake sourdough bread and somehow set his entire kitchen on fire. 15 minutes on TikTok is a challenge. 9 years is a commitment that ends with you being classified as a geographical feature. Now, it's really important to draw a line here between meditation and what many people in the West think of as a spiritual practice, like prayer. Let's be very clear. Prayer is typically an act of talking. You're communicating outwards to a deity, to a higher power. You're asking, you're thanking, you're speaking. Meditation, especially this kind of Zen practice, is the exact opposite. It's an act of listening. You're not trying to send a message out. You're trying to quiet everything down so you can finally hear the messages that are already inside you. As Jon Kabat-Zinn, the American scientist who brought mindfulness meditation into the medical mainstream, puts it, it's about paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. You're not looking for an answer from the heavens. You're simply watching the messy, chaotic, and sometimes brilliant traffic of your own thoughts without getting run over by it. Which is great advice, but for most of us, listening to our own inner monologue is less like a serene podcast and more like scanning a broken car radio that's stuck between a death metal station, an ad for a personal injury lawyer, and a 24-hour loop of the one embarrassing thing you said at a party in 2007. The goal isn't to find a clear station, it's just to learn how to not crash the car while all that noise is playing. And this leads to the most important point. You do not need to be a Buddhist to do this. You don't have to believe in reincarnation or chant a single mantra. This is a technology, not a theology. Think of it like a workout for your brain. You don't need to believe in the ancient Greek gods to lift weights at the gym, right? You just do it because it makes your body stronger. This is the same. It's a practical method for training your attention, for understanding your own anxiety, and for finding a sense of calm that doesn't depend on what's happening on your phone screen. So, for all the people trying to raw dog boredom, I say go for it. It's a fantastic start. But if you find yourself sitting there feeling antsy, your thumb twitching for that dopamine hit of a notification, maybe it's time to try the next level. Level up from just doing nothing to doing something with that nothingness. Find a quiet place. Sit on a chair or a cushion, whatever's comfortable. Keep your back straight and just bring your attention to your breath. Feel the air come in and feel the air go out. Your mind is going to go crazy. For me, the first time I really tried, it was like a fireworks show of anxiety. My brain served up my entire cringe highlight reel from middle school, a to-do list for work that was a mile long, and the theme sound to a cartoon I hadn't seen in 20 years. That's fine. That's what minds do. Your job isn't to stop the thoughts, it's just to notice them. And then gently, without judgment, bring your focus back to the breath, over and over again. It's true. The first time you do it, your brain basically becomes a panicked intern on their first day, just throwing random files at you. Here's your tax deadline. Remember that weird mole? Hey, what about the lyrics to the theme of the DuckTales? Should we worry about that? Yes, brain, we absolutely should worry about all of it, but maybe after we're done breathing for 5 more seconds. The incredible irony of our time is that we have access to all the information in the world, yet the most valuable skill might be the ability to tune it all out. These TikTok kids, with their absurdly named trend, have accidentally rediscovered a profound truth. The real challenge and the real reward isn't just to endure boredom, it's to explore it. Because that empty space you're so afraid of isn't empty at all. It's where the real work gets done. The boredom isn't the point. It's the doorway. So yes, by all means, raw dog boredom. It sounds deeply unpleasant, like eating sushi from a gas station, but it might just be the healthiest thing you do all week. It's the spiritual equivalent of eating your vegetables. Only in this case, the broccoli has been given the street name of leafy fist.